Let me ask you a question.
Question for you, what's your opinion on the T-Splosh?
You know what? If that'll help us with our roads, I'm gonna be for it. I know that there's a battle out there on T-Splosh. We've talked about it, that a lot of folks don't like it. But right now, we gotta get the roads done around here. If you're living New Harley, I mean, we're just talking roads a minute. We come up Tulil Road, that is one big mess over there right now. You know, even at last, maybe we can buy another piece of property. T-Splosh, we're talking about the interstates, we're talking about big stuff. I'm sitting over here on the old Alabama Road. I want that road finished. And right now, they don't have the money to finish Old Alabama Road, I understand, unless T-Splosh gets in, unless they're just using that to hang us. I know on the other side, on where we got Rome, it may be supporting Rome more than it is us to finish that road out. But up here, we need both those roads. We need that interstate structure to keep business moving like we need to do. I know there's a lot of debate on it though, and I just think that, here's my deal, let us all pay for it and let them freeloaders pay for it too that ain't paying taxes.
Could you restate your position on blue laws for dealerships and alcohol sales in our county?
Well, I don't have to worry about alcohol sales because that's already going up for a vote and that'll be the personage. And it amazes me that a social issue would become the #1 issue when the economy is so bad in Bartow County and in our surrounding structure around here. We got more we need than just alcohol, but I already told you, and I told you for a reason, when it comes down to I don't care if you go drink, that's your business. And the alcohol sales, they're going to put it on the ticket. It'll be voted on in July, so that's already taken. That's out of my hands now, and that's good. Am I going to be a supporter of that? I'm not going to be a supporter of alcohol. I'm not going to be a supporter of marijuana. I'm not going to be a supporter of cocaine and meth or anything else, because I want to share with y'all this, and you can take it for what it's worth, win or lose. I gotta say what I feel on everything. And I want to tell you something. You don't need leadership that just beats around the hedge with things. You don't need leadership that'll say, well, I'm going to leave it up to the people. I got 5 children. I don't leave anything up to them. When they get grown, they get married, they move out, they got their own decision to make. But I think good leadership ought to say, I'll take the lick on this. This is not good for our county. I don't think that some issues need to even go to the people because they're just not good for the county. If I could stop alcohol altogether, I'd stop alcohol altogether. Because if 100,000 people a year die of alcoholism, then something really wrong in it. Leadership needs to have a backbone. I like what some of our past presidents might have done, or our political leaders. I love a man that'll stand up and say, I grew a backbone somewhere in my lifetime, and this is not going to be good for the people of Bartow County. Well, we don't need to take everything to a vote. In my own church, I learned that a long time ago. I don't take anything to a church vote. I got a deacon board, I pull them together, and I say, guys, is this right or wrong? What do we need to do? I'll always ask counsel, but then I say, guys, we're not taking it down here and ask them what they want to do, because next week they'll be wanting to change the carpet, they'll be changing everything. If it's right or wrong, make a decision. Make a decision. And try to live by that. I'm not making mistakes. Golly, I'm going to make mistakes. But here's one thing. I'm going to stand up and say, if I don't think it's good for this community, if I don't think it's good for the safety of my children, if I don't think that's the most ethical and moral thing that I can live with next year, you ask me and I'll tell you. The tax on the lodges, things that we got, 13% tax on all hotels. That's going to the Historical Society now, a lot of the things over there. I'm glad that we're seeing a lot of taxes out there that help different parts of the county, and Clarence has done a tremendous job of that. So I hope that answers your question. I just think more politicians need to get a backbone and stand up and be what they are.
Regarding your position or your story about the water department and the employees being able to save money, $100,000 in a budget, I don't totally disagree with what your statement is as far as giving them incentive to do that. But don't you think there's a systemic failure in management that they couldn't recognize that without asking the workers where all the savings could come from?
Yeah. I'm not going to sling mud at these guys at all. But I think the first thing I need to do when I go in office, I'll take a word from a friend here, is in that first 90 days or that first 6 months or whatever, the first year, you're going to have to go in and assess everybody we got in the whole county. You do that through performance-based evaluations. You look at them. We go through and say what's real, what's working, what's not working. I already know that by walking around talking to employees. You know, I can talk to your wife and find out whether you're a good husband or not, and just by listening to the people below you. And I can do that same thing walking around Bartow County, and you talk to the employees, and you're going to know you got a problem in about 5 minutes. You're going to know who's good, and you're going to know who they're having trouble with. But that's not always true, because just because employees are having a hard time with them, they may be the best manager you got. He's just pushing the hound out of people. So you're correct, and I just used that as an example. But I think first thing you have to go when you go in is assess your people, work with your people, look at the past real closely. And I can't do that here, but you can there. When you walk into that job, then you're going to sit down with them, review salaries, budgets. And my daughter and I, she typed that up for me last night. And as we sat last night, she said, Daddy, how you going to do this? The first thing you do when you go into any new business is you look at your budget, which we already got that from Bartow County, and you pull that, you sit down with the managers over each department heads, and say, this is our budget, where are we at? And everything I said about the employees, you start at the top, and then you come down, and you get a team concept. He's on board. I really can't judge what, he didn't work for me before, but if he wants to work for me, he's got a job. But if he doesn't work for me, Burger King's hiring.
Any other questions? All right. Mike, appreciate you coming out this morning.